Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I send you all many blessings for the holiday season. And let's be safe, happy, prosperous, and let's start. I'm going to go around the world from Aries to Pisces. I'm going to use these decks, all right? I'm going to take one card from each deck to tell the story. And then once we get the narrative and see how it goes, I'm going to probably, what I want to do is different. I want to do a Christmas movie. I'm going to apply a Christmas movie for each of your signs, okay? Thank you to all who have supported my channel. Thank you all for being absolutely wonderful. My time stampers, all of you. You have meant so much to me this year, and upcoming there's going to be some changes to my channel, so you can watch out for that. All right, let's go. Aries. One card from each deck. I'll show you the cards after I get. Okay. I'm going to take whatever Spirit gives me. I'm going to take those and put them there. Whenever Spirit gives you more than one card, it's definitely needed. Okay. I'm using the, let's see, I'm using the Faded Shadow Oracle, Threads of Fate. I'm using that. That's the Shadow Oracle. This is the Urban Legend deck. I'm using the True Emotional deck. And my deck, the Raw Truth, which I will have up and running in my Etsy shop. It's busy. It's the holidays, so just saying. All right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, so for Aries, we have Strength. And then we have interesting, really interesting. We have two feminine energies being Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. They're not looking at one another. I just saying, by the way. It could be friends, family members, exes, bosses, what have you. We have someone put a spell, right? A spell of love. Then we have identity theft. Interesting, right? Okay. So, Aries, you're dealing with a lot of people here. Now, when it comes to this Queen of Pentacles, because Spirit's showing me that the Queen of Pentacles, as stable, as fertile, as grounded as this Queen of Pentacles is, she also, which that's why they showed in this deck, the depiction of on the pentacle is, right, that's her conscience, right? So immediately I get, let your conscience be your guide when it comes to money or any kind of financial deals, any kind of, and maybe also how you value others. Do you value others through the strength of your resolve? Meaning, you know, how do you show love in the sense of, are you clear and understanding and supportive? Do you communicate well? Do you find, you know, I mean, when you have two energies here, you have the energy of earth and you have the energy of air. So air is helping the planet to breathe. Air is Mother Earth, right? Is part of Mother Earth. And it gives us the strength to, right? The truth sets you free. And in love, I feel as if someone has or is jealous of another's, I'm just going to say it, you know, we have to be, we are all honest here, right? So I feel that in love, there could be some jealous vibes with regard to someone wanting to be like someone else or wanting to be with another, but I want to be like you kind of feel. I feel like someone wants to be someone other than themselves, meaning I want to have the income, I want to have that prosperity that you have. I want to be able to communicate the way that someone does. I see these two feminines as very grounded, very honest, very clear in their communication, knowing what they want, knowing what they've attained, right? So in love, someone could have definitely taken you, taken your whole, you lost yourself. That's it. You lost yourself in this relationship. And the strength is number one and foremost, seeing that as above, so below. So that could be a thread. This is what you're working on. You're working on having the strength in love to see yourself in the other as a reflection, but not lose yourself in the same breath. Right? Doing for others, people pleasing, the competition. It could feel like there's, you're in a relationship with someone, but at the same time you feel this, you can't let it go, where it's like either they're out there in the world doing what they love to do. Now this could be you as well, so vice versa, but I'm seeing these two as one energy of knowing what they want, knowing how to get it, communicating it, being honest. The truth sets us free, but having our conscience be clear, be cleansed, be cleansed. And someone who's got that high vibration energy, we lose ourselves in those kind of people because they're high vibing. Now, if this is you, Aries, and you're high vibing, the question is, who lost themselves in love, right? It makes me feel like overcompensation. It's like we overcompensate, we people please way too much. And then we blame the other for the way that we've acted or didn't act. You know what I mean? So that's the spell. The spell is, what I lost myself and I'm now trying to regain, seeing myself again. I'm trying to become whole again. And I really need to emphasize that when in love, Aries, look at your last 3 relationships. Like I always tell my clients, look at your last 3 relationships and see where you lost yourself in that relationship. What part of you did you lose? Did you lose your head? Like, oh my God, I'm totally in love with this person. I lost my head. I said things, I did things. Maybe I regretted certain things. I wasn't strong enough. I let them make the decisions, or I always made the decisions. It was always my way or the highway. So you lose yourself in a relationship, and that's a really scary place to be. Because then you have to, when that person's no longer in your life, or even if they are, you're like, I'm not the same person I was like when I was single. This is the tree of life is here in the strength card. This is the tree of life, as above, so below. So part of your shadow work is to find the strength in yourself to not give so much of yourself, or some of you worked too hard and you lost your relationship. You were always working, or someone gave so much of themselves to you and it was, I never took them out. We always stayed home. We didn't do enough. I didn't say how I felt. the relationship did not evolve because this person could have been, like I said, high vibing, and you were like, wait a second, I lost myself, so I haven't grown in this relationship. I'm still reliving certain things in us that I now realize that I didn't before. The the Christmas movie that I feel strongly for you is The Family Man. The Family Man with Nicolas Cage, and Tia Leone or whatever, I think, yeah. So I feel like you drove yourself really, I feel like you fell in love without even realizing that you did. I feel like you had no idea how in it you were in this relationship, how serious you were in this relationship, and how much in love you were to lose yourself. And you might have lost yourself in other relationships too. But the part of that is, did I really speak my mind? Did I really tell someone how I felt? Did my actions align with the words that I was saying? And what have I learned over the course of this year? And do I really want... So in The Family Man, he gets revisited. I mean, he gets the phone call from his ex saying, I need to give you your stuff back. I know she had been moving to Paris. I'm not going to, spoil it. No spoiler alerts here, but she was moving to Paris, found an old box of his things. And I think that's partially what he didn't understand, was when he was in the relationship with her, he didn't realize how much he really cared and loved her until he lost her. And then okay, I'm not going to spoil alert it, but that's your movie. And then, was it too late? Or was it not too late? Of course, I'm not going to tell you. Okay? So, Aries, The Family Man is your movie. And it does constitute a question of, how deep is the love that you have for someone, and how deep is that love that you lost and lost yourself in. Okay? All right. Taurus. Movement. Taurus, what's going on? 9 of Cups. Oh, I like it. Going after what you want. Going after... Oh, my God, Taurus, some of you are popping the question. Oh, someone's getting married or getting engaged. Oh, I confess. Oh, my God, look at this. Okay, this could be a spoiler alert. This is... I'm going to tell you right now. This is a test of love. Here we have a snake, is the Kundalini rising, right? Someone's been working on themselves, or is going to be. During the holiday season, right? Someone's been working on themselves, opening up certain blockages that have been in your chakras. There's been some blockages. And any relationship that was like your be-all, end-all dream relationship, oh my God, I have to be with this person, or, oh my God, this person is my person. I feel as if you are with this person, you're ready to get engaged, to get solidified with, maybe it's not only an engagement. For others, it could be, I confess that I always wanted a future with you, but never was able to tell you. I feel the relationship needs right now, and for some of you who have been in like the datings, you've been dating someone for a minute, I feel like it's time now to level up. And maybe this is a confession, like you're coming, if you're in a relationship and you've been dating for a minute and you feel it coming, it's coming, okay? Whereas a solid confession or I've always loved you, I've always been in love with you, okay? So a relationship is leveling up, but it doesn't come without, having someone clear up a lot of stuff that was going on in their chakras. Meaning, was someone emotionally not ready? Is someone emotionally not ready or ready? If you're split up with someone that you really love and they're your dream person, do you feel like the only way to make this person decide not to leave or come back to you is by an engagement, or to give them a piece of jewelry that they will hold near and dear to their hearts? Some of you literally are rubbing the genie and asking for 3 wishes because, you probably have certain things that had to come out that you haven't told someone, right? When we make a wish, I feel as if you've been single and dating for a minute, I feel that you're like, okay, I have to like be honest with you and confess that I truly am in love with you and I want to be with you. And even if you haven't been dating someone for a long time, it could be 9 months. I mean, up to 9 years, let's say. I don't know. Or this 9 is, if I don't make a move now and ask someone for, and confess my love to them, and so they don't leave. It's like I do feel someone's making a last attempt and or leveling up so that either someone stays and doesn't go and or comes back. Someone may think that if I propose, they're going to stay or they won't leave me. It kind of reminds me, okay, your movie, Taurus, is like the Santa Claus. It's kind of like the Claus that was in the movie where he wouldn't be able to continue being Santa and making himself happy and others happy until he was married or he had to get married. That was the Claus. So I feel that this is about just that. And it's interesting because he went on a couple crazy dates, right? But then the last person that he would ever think would be for him, they ended up Mrs. Claus. So I do feel this is happening here. I feel some of you have been single for a minute and or divorced, and you're ready. You're just ready. Or it's your, okay, they're saying it, or it's like your last chance at love, if you want to keep this relationship going. In order to continue being happy, Taurus, you are going to have to confess how much you really love someone, whether you did or didn't show it at the time. Okay? All right. It's kind of like, what is it? It's a Hail Mary. That's what I just heard, Taurus. I don't know why I heard it. Okay. Gemini. Gemini. Oh my God. It's funny because that came upside down. It came reversed, but I don't read reversals. So Get Wild came out. This is interesting. Hold on. This card fell. Interesting. We have the Page. Oh my God. Sorry. We have the Page and the Knight of Pentacles. This is a two-way street. Two-way street of what you've always waited, wanted. Oh my God, that just came out. Oh my Lord. What's going on? What's going on? Are you kidding me? Look at that. Gemini. This is a giving, receiving on both ends of in a relationship. Someone's going to literally, this is a little different though for, it's not like Taurus's reading. This is a commitment where someone feels, okay, someone feels in this relationship that in order to control another, sorry, but you know, we're going to be honest with what's going on, what we see. We have a giving and receiving of a card, of this card. And I just had deja vu when I did that. So, interesting that the depiction on Get Wild, the Get Wild card looks like, I don't know what they were trying to show here as not only giving and receiving, but also to show this as like the crocodile that grabbed, you know, the pentacle, or, you know, the ring, right? But it's a crocodile or an alligator, whatever you want to say. So there's an issue of control here, meaning someone may want to pop the question only to control them into sticking it out, or I love you, marry me, but it comes with, I'm so sorry, Gemini, but it does. It comes with, I don't want you to be single anymore. I don't want you to be out there dating. I want to know where you're at, where you're headed, who you're with. You know, someone could be really trying to control it as, you know, I don't want, okay, I also heard if I can't have you, either can anyone else. So I feel like for Geminis, you've waited a long time for a new beginning, a new start. You want that, you do, but you don't want it to be like, you don't want it to control your life, right? So if you're married or if you're divorced and you were in, this could be that you were in a marriage that was very controlling because someone was very much into my way or the highway, right? Here it is. Or you've been with someone for a long time right? And you still have that, you know, they're saying Mick Jagger's under my thumb, right? Kind of like that. Under my thumb. I want to know where you're at, what you're doing, but guess what? In the same breath, as long as I have you, or I'm married to you, or someone has this, let's say, like an agreement in love that I'm married to you, but I can do whatever I want. So I can go and do whatever I want. It's very one-sided. It's very controlling. If you're in a marriage and you're being controlled by another who says, I'll marry you, but guess what? Here's the deal. There's no deals. But someone could be like, there's a there's a inadvertent nonverbal agreement between two people that are married or getting married, or this person pops the question only to keep them under their wing. And at the same breath, someone feels like they're single at the same time. Like, well, if I make this commitment to you and I'm supporting you and taking care of you, which is control, right? Then I can do whatever I want. I really feel that you're dealing with, Gemini, someone who's really immature, or this someone couldn't speak up. Someone wasn't able to speak up. Hold on. Someone has been really silent about wanting to take this relationship to another level, but it comes as control instead of, I'm sorry, Geminis, it's not like someone's trying to control you into, which isn't going to happen not with a Gemini. So it's kind of like they want their cake and eat it too. Right? I want to say that your Christmas movie would be like Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet in The Holiday. I'm thinking of someone who comes back into the picture. Okay, so just like it was in the movie, Cameron Diaz was with someone who cheated on her. So she kicked him out. And she never really had feelings, so she couldn't cry. Watch it if you haven't seen it. And she never, she was so in her work, so absorbed in her work that nothing really affected her, much like a Queen of Swords, right? And then Kate Winslet in another country was in London, and she had just also gotten cheated on, right? And the story is they both wanted to get the heck out of Dodge, and it was the Christmas holidays. They were thinking about this person, and they didn't want to be even in the same state or country, so they swapped locations and stayed at each other's residence. The exes came back. One came back to control and manipulate her just to sleep with her. And the other came back. Or the other one didn't come back. She actually fell in love, for real, with Cameron Diaz. Fell in love, and Winslet had an ex that came back. She fell in love, both falling in love with a new person. So that's how I feel here. It is like The Holiday. where you may want to get out of town. You may not want to be around anyone, so, you know, go solo, but maybe still, I mean, not all of us can just, you know, fly wherever for the holidays, but I do feel you have someone coming back to try and get back into your good graces that cheated on you or cheated by not being themselves with you and really and truly just wanted to be with you or to get back with you for control. Right? Or they're popping the question just so that they can say, you know, you're mine now. Got it? So, Gemini, you're not going to be taken in by this. You're not. You're not going to be taken in by that. And I do feel it is someone who is trying to say, you know, okay, Gemini, I'll give you what you want, but, you know, I'm doing it so that you don't go anywhere. I'm doing that so I can go and do whatever I want. Or now I have you under my spell or under my wing. You know what I mean? All right, Gemini, sorry, but that's what came out for you. Cancers. Cancers. The warrior. Look at that. And I'm going to say it. Some of you Cancers are dealing with an Aries, because I do feel that aside from the sword there, I see that, you know, that looks like the ram. So a conversation, clarity, what's going on? I've been through hell, so to speak. Oh yeah, look at that. Masculine and feminine walking away. Both of them walking away. So this is a walking away from a relationship. Emotionally detached. I also heard that. The feminine is emotionally detached. Cancer, that could be you, because she pretty much looks detached, right? She looks like she's like, I don't really care. And it's interesting, before I pulled this last card, it's interesting because the masculine feels like he had the last word in. But was the last word the truth, or was it their truth, or was it a lie? Was it a fight? Was it pride? Date night. So someone's been on the dating scene. Okay, if you're single and you're dating, are you really emotionally available? Or are you just like, you know, checking the temperature of the waters? Are you just dating to date, but really not emotionally available? I'm hearing that. Like you're going through the motions, and with every person that you deal with, they're walking away, or you walk away saying, no, they're not the person. But are you looking at yourself? I feel like you've cut a lot of people out of your life. Right? Cancers, you've cut a lot of people out of your life because I don't feel like you really knew what maybe you wanted. You don't know what you want, or if you're emotionally even ready to be doing these date nights, you know? Have you gotten clear with what it is that you want? Do you know what you want? And I'm going to tell you, being emotionally unavailable, like I feel as if some of you who are single and dating, or maybe newly divorced and dating, or honestly, never been married, right? Are you being too picky? Are you being too cautious? Does someone feel like every time you do go on a date, you're nitpicking or comparing it to someone else? Do you feel like, you know, that I kind of feel like you're better off just not dating right now, Cancers? Or maybe you've decided not to be dating. It's the holiday season, and what's coming up here is like the ghosts of Christmas past. That's how I feel. I was thinking about which Christmas movie, and I feel it's it's the Ghosts of Christmas Past. Yeah, A Christmas Carol. I do. I feel like you're reviewing your life, and especially around the holidays, and maybe sitting there thinking about what you didn't say, what fights you had with this person, with someone, or you lived with someone and it was like, someone, you and or someone else always found something wrong, or not, they're not available, they're not emotionally available. They found that in you. I feel some of you need more of your divine feminine to come out with the moon here and the divine feminine, hiding your feelings with someone maybe that you were dating. This could be baby mama daddy kind of issue where, you cut someone out of your life only to realize or recognize that the whole time that you've been with every person that wasn't the right one was etching off, like you were checking these people off of your list, or off of, like you're comparing them to like someone whom you really loved. So the mirror reflection of someone that you were really in love with is now part of your past history, and you need to see that in order to move on and become more, or them, emotionally available. But I really do feel that this is you, emotionally unavailable, right? And hiding your feelings, and never really, or when it came down to being really truthful, just it was easier to walk away because you weren't ready. Or you just used like every reason not to be with that person, right? It's like they don't compare, or I let certain people walk away that I wasn't myself, I wasn't ready, I wasn't honest. It's that kind of thing. So your movie is A Christmas Carol. It's like the ghosts of Christmas past and what that meant to you. So it is a good time for you now to reflect upon those people that have gone out of your life and to seek yourself and maybe find yourself again emotionally and mentally ready, which I don't feel you are right now. And by going through that, just like he did, right? Just like he did in the movie, he had to be visited by the ghosts of Christmas past in order to see himself unattached, detached, I should say, detached, unavailable, and his whole life just passed before him. So that's another message. Okay? All right, Leos. Leo. They want me to take these two, so I'm gonna. The universe and get wild. So, Spirit's saying it's time to really have some fun. And I just heard, I don't know why I heard it, at what and whose cost. So let's see what that means. The Empress, I love it. The mother, a mother figure, the mother of your children. You are the mother. Ending losses or a karmic relationship. These are too many. Sorry. Should I take them? They said yes. Okay. So there's a big story here about this storm. Empowered, love or lust. My favorite distraction, sorrow or grief. So it looks as if with the empowered card, right? That this Empress, empowered, this could be you as a mother of some, you could be divorced or a single mom, and you took your power back, Leo. You could have taken your power back in a karmic relationship, in a marriage, whatever relationship ended, right? A relationship is karmic, and you already know that it was important in order to continue to stay in your power. You had to face your, let's say, the distractions of addictive behavior. Like, do I find myself in relationships that I think that I'm in love, or I think really truly that I love someone, but in actuality it's just lust? Do I lust over an ex? Do I make relationships based upon, that's what Spirit's saying here. Your sorrow or grief is the ability to see what kind of things in your life, addiction, addictive behaviors, are distractions for you to really be, am I really in love, or am I in lust? Have I played around enough to know better? And or to know what Spirit's saying as above, so below. There comes a time in every relationship is tempted by the fruits of another, right? And do we take that temptation and go for it and then we regret it? Have you, or has someone else, was someone else, a karmic relationship, a breakdown, everything that happened in this storm led you to ask the question whether or not was this really truly a relationship that was honorable? Are they gone? Is this baby mama who's like either a Taurus or a Libra. You know, it's kind of like, it's one thing to say, oh my God, okay, so here it is. This is what Spirit's saying. Some of you Leos are trying to, like I said, identify between relationships being lust or love, because we have had that in the December reads. Some of the readings for December was to identify how to identify, because a relationship starts out as wild and crazy and fun, and we're going here, we're going there, we're having sex, you know, all the time, whatever. And then when we become mothers and when we become parents, that's when these storms come around, right? This is your card. A firestorm happens because now there's like, you know, it's like sucks. The relationship's changed. We could be grieving and are sorry about letting someone go that we really did find as a favorite distraction, but someone leveled up and walked away. This Empress empowered herself because she did the work. So if this is you, then you did the work and you had to walk away from all of these storms where people only wanted, you know, one thing. And then when it got too serious, it was like, I'm out of here, or vice versa. So this is the holiday season where I feel like we see ourselves as maybe a mom. Your mom is single and she's dating, and you see some certain threads of the same consistency, a pattern forming when you were being raised by someone who really wanted to still be wild and free, and then get divorced, and then they're dating, and I feel someone is sorry that they are. I feel someone's sorry that they didn't see their ex level up. They weren't on the same frequency, so it became the Empress is up here and someone was like still in, you know, the wild mode, right? This is, I'm taking, you know, I'm going out, I'm having fun, this is sex, let's party, let's have a great time. But someone left someone else's life because they became a parent. And it became apparent that someone leveled up. Someone was pregnant, they got to be a mom. And they had to walk away from the wild and crazy lifestyle of a single person. So someone here is still dealing with, is still needing to deal with and realizing that Spirit's universe put this firestorm in your life to show you who's leveled up, who stays and who goes, whether it's it's a soulmate relationship that has maybe caused you a lot of sorrow and grief, because now maybe Leos, you have leveled up or they leveled up, and now you're on the same level, but someone's not in your life anymore, and it makes you sad because you weren't on the same vibrational frequency when you were together. Does that make sense? So I do feel like this season of being with family, your kids, friends, and having convos amongst you brings you to a feeling like, wow, the movie with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon, Four Christmases. Like you're going to your persons who you're with right now, their family or your family, And you're seeing threads of someone being still immature and having the lust and the addiction of maybe it's a new relationship. It could be your mom's dating. It could be someone who's like your sibling. Someone may be asking you about your ex and wanting to know, how are they doing? What are they doing this season? You may be getting asked about it, and it brings you back to a time that you see either in your siblings or your children that they're distracted by the same things that you once were perhaps before becoming a parent, or even during someone becoming a parent. It's, you know what? It's like you had to grow up. But the only way that someone was able to grow up was to see the reality of someone that left and moved on. So that's what I got. And now I understand why all these cards came out. My raw truth cards came out, because it is the raw truth of a situation. Is you're seeing this, you're seeing what's maybe one of your kids or the divorced mom and dad dealing with the step parenting issue, or whoever was your karmic favorite distraction, and you still have maybe some feelings up in here with them, right? You're now seeing that in your kids, what they're going through. Maybe they're going through a breakup. Or your ex, you're wondering what your ex is doing, right? And, and it brings you back to a time when you too were on a different vibration and wanting different things. One, perhaps Leos, some of you wanted love and the other wanted to just play around. Someone was more immature, hence, they're out of your life, but they're very much still in your heart. That's why it's really important, you guys, to understand across the board, when we're healing, we have to heal 100%. That means emotional, physical, mental. That's the Trinity. To clean the slate, you have to really understand that. It's important. You can't just heal. You say to yourself mentally, oh yeah, I'm healed. And then the next person that you meet, you're doing the same old with that person that you did with the last. That means you're not healed. Patterns that form over and over again with the same people or new people means that you haven't healed. And needing to heal means forgiving, letting go, letting God, and learning the lesson. Virgo. I think Virgo wants to as well. The wildling and compassion. So an indecision, very compassionate, very loving, but needing to make a decision, or you have decided not to decide, whatever that means to you. You might have needed to make a decision and didn't. Let's see. Or now you're going to make the decision and you're going, this is like, it's not fight or flight. This is, I'm fleeing because I have to hurry up and tell someone how I truly feel and what's in my heart. I got to tell them now. I have to have a convo right now. Virgo, you may need to tell someone something right now. Reckless love, sex. I was reckless. I fucked around. I fooled around and fell in love. I heard that song just now. Oh my Lord. Love to love you. Oh my God. That's what happened. I'm telling you right now. I fooled around and fell in love. For some Virgos, right? You had no idea. You were trying to be, which you are, Virgos. You're like very knowingly compassionate because you're Mother Earth. You are compassionate and loving, and you see people for the goodness that they bring. You know, you see the good. Okay, Virgo. Sorry, I got a phone call, so let's go over what we have here so far. Your issue of the compassion and the indecision and or getting clarity on what it is proceeding and going forward became, let's say, the thorn in your side, such as a rose, where someone ended up, right, as I mentioned before, I fooled around and fell in love, right? Only to realize that either you lost someone because of it, or you realized truly what mattered and what matters. You know, it's like I realized that I messed up. I shouldn't have messed up. You know, you mean so much to me. That could be the message to you, coming from you or to you. Asking for forgiveness for actions of being reckless, you know? Okay, and having the compassion, right? Having the compassion. If someone did confess, or you confessed that you can't make a decision, you have to go. You know, it maybe, I'm going to say it, and it's almost, could be almost certain that this Knight of Swords became the message that you finally needed to make the decision to at least either ask for forgiveness or get forgiveness in return, or the decision was made for you. Okay? So I feel that with this, I do feel truly that you're dealing with a situation where in your life you have been, let's say in the past, we've all been reckless. We've all, you know, messed around, fooled around, and then ended up really digging someone deeply, right? Only to find that we were either all in another relationship and couldn't get out of it and couldn't make that decision to do it. So I do feel that A Christmas Carol is relevant in your situation because you're reflecting upon the times in your life where perhaps you were reckless and appreciating and being grateful for what you have now, and not wanting to wait a moment. You don't want to waste another moment with someone who you've really had great compassion and unconditional love for and with, right? And maybe now you've come to realize that it wasn't worth it. Just like in the movie. We do sometimes we realize it, right, too late in the game of love and life. What someone meant to us. But circumstances, unbeknownst to us, circumstances, timing was off. You know, it wasn't the right time. It was actually, then we realize, right, which happens so much. That's why, you know, we end up jumping into a relationship with having full-on chemistry and sex instead of becoming a friend first, you know, and having something in common, you know, and then, you know, we realize that sometimes these relationships don't work out because we jumped into bed too quick, right? We know that. Come on. We've never been really told that our body's the temple. But now we know. Okay? All right. Libra. Libra. The observer. I love that. We do, I have to say, we are pretty much great observers. Look at that. It just came out. You saw it. We are observant as well as the observer, the witness, shall we say, of what truths we see in others, and of course, that reflection that comes back to us. Some of us unemployed. Okay, it's the holidays, so honestly, debt is, sucks. Having bad credit sucks. Sometimes we're dancing around. Okay, I'm hearing creative financing with these two. Some of you creative financing, trying to figure it out. How am I going to? Stressing too much, right? This is the season for the stress. Using credit cards. Do we realize, Libra, that bad debt and unemployment and credit issues, two things. Do we realize, number one, that whatever we're paying for, if we're using a credit card, that interest being 20-some% or what have you, even 19%, is too high? Because when you're buying something for, let's say, Christmas presents, right? That $20 becomes an easy 60, if not more, depending on how much you're spending. So watch your spending this holiday season. Also, the second part of this is the overspending lends itself for us to really be the observers as to how we value ourselves. Do we need, is this like Scrooge? The Grinch. That's it. Are we the Grinch by saying we're dancing around the issue of Christmas needing to spend a shitload of money for what purpose? To why? We have to observe why we do certain things. So this is the holiday season. It makes total sense that we're trying to be creative with our finances so that we can prove to others that we really value others. Do we need to spend a shitload of money to value another? To show others that we really love and care about them? Can we even put a price tag on that kind of love? So I do feel that you are now becoming very observant and witnessing yourself. Sorry, but not sorry. We cannot avoid what's right there in front of us. Meaning, people are going to have to understand if you can't, you can't spend a lot of money, or you can't go to that dinner, or it's time to really be more resourceful. And that resourceful is definitely the mere reflection of how disciplined Spirit's asking us. Do we realize, okay, I'm gonna just say one little thing. I had a client last week that we were talking, in her reading, it was like, do you even clean up? It's time, like it's the end of the year, so it's time to clean up the apps. It's time to clean up all the Netflix, do you realize you have Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, whatever, all those on our TV, right? And how many you have and how much they want per month. Also, what came up was the iCloud. iCloud, in the iPhone, always saying, well, now, guess what? Your storage is full, so you have to give us another $10 a month. It's all a scam. So that reading really helped my client, and in this read for you guys. Generally speaking, it's time to clean up the debt. It's time to realize the debt. Do we realize how much we spend going to Starbucks all the time? Do we go to Starbucks or Dunkin' or wherever you go? Do you realize how many apps you have on your phone, and are you cleaning it up? Do you realize how much it costs to go to the grocery store and how much things have escalated? Inflation. It's one thing to just say, oh, here's the credit card. It's another to be observant and witness how we spend and where it goes. And do you know? Because this creative financing, right? We want to have fun. We want to go out. We want to spend on others, spend on ourselves, right? But then we're hit with, oh shit. The oh shit gets creditors calling, the debt. Maybe you lost your job, and I truly am extremely sorry if the holiday season you are unemployed, if you don't want to be. So I do send you so much compassion and love and light. But if you know that this is totally resonating with you, I call it the Grinch, because for others of you, it's knowing that holding on to your money, there's the balance. Here's the balance. That's why I said the Grinch. The Grinch realized that his heart was so big and that people didn't need the presents and all that. But also, in addition, the flip side of that, because we are all about the flip side, the yin and the yang, and weighing our, to make a decision, we have to weigh things out. We do. But the flip side of the Grinch was, wow, we don't end up spending on ourselves, we spend on others just to be liked or just to be heard or just to be seen. We're being asked to really look at what we've done, let's say over the past year, with our finances and how that bleeds into other parts of our lives, right? We can look at Christmas as, well, yeah, it's about giving, but it's more about giving time, which is the most valuable asset, is our time, not necessarily the money that you have to spend on a daughter, a son, a mother, a father, or a sibling, or nieces, nephews, whatever. If you don't have it, don't spend it. If you have it, why are you spending it or not spending it? Some of you are not spending it, and then you go crazy spending it because you're like, oh my God, my heart just opened. I've been such a Scrooge, like Scrooge McDuck. It's like I've really been a Scrooge this year, and now for others of you, you're not. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like Spirit's asking us to be more observant of how we spend money, why we spend money, why we don't look at it, or do we look at it as why we do or why we don't? Are we trying to justify the means of why we do or why we don't? Is our heart so open or our love so deep that, we don't care about something that we buy is going to triple? And then that's when we're looking at, it's like, this is kind of like a heads up, Libra, for those of you. It may be too late, but sometimes we feel obligated to spend this money. And now And then we're doing a little dance around, creditors calling and why we owe so much and what happened. And that goes from, this kind of issue goes from how you feel about yourself. It's about the disciplining. The highest form of love is discipline and having self-respect. And love for yourself doesn't necessarily mean that we really need that Gucci bag. Got it? And how does that intertwine? Observe how that intertwines. How does this intertwine with the kind of choices that we make in people that we are dating or in love with, or single and looking, whatever it is? How does that equate? Are we always the ones that fit the bill?
3:33.
Oh, 3:33 on the clock. Just FYI. How's that for the growth? The 3:33 is the growth that we have learned for ourselves, is not to overcompensate in any part of our lives, so that we don't become, we're giving so much of ourselves, not just money, but we're giving, we're always over pleasing and people pleasing, similar. In order to be heard, seen, understood. It's time to observe all of those things and how it ties into that same thread of how much we give others. And I'm telling you, Libra, it's the year to give to yourself. Okay. And have the discipline to not get in debt. All right. That kind of sucked, but you have to be honest. Okay. Scorpios. Let's see what's going on, Scorps. The Creator, and these came out with it. So, again, got interrupted. So, let's go. Scorpio. We have the Creator, be still and know. And then versatility and transmutation. So you're really going through a huge, you're going through, some of you going through the dark night of the soul and or coming out of the dark night of the soul right now as we speak. You're definitely going through a transformation. You're transmuting the maybe negative energy and alchemizing it to positive energy, which is finding yourself in the all. Four of Cups. No? No. Okay. So, in the emotional, doing an emotional check-in, Scorpios, is what you're doing right now as you are dealing with either someone or yourself who confesses to be kind of controlling, maybe narcissistic, if you will. Maybe you or someone else confessing to yourself, more importantly, to see yourself in the eyes of and through spirit, right? What makes you tick? How are you transmuting the fact that, we tell it like it is here on my channel, spiritually speaking, you are transforming the things that you have pointed the finger in others is being shown in yourself, and trying to change that because it hasn't gotten you it's gotten you sad. It has loss, there's regret, there's sadness. The Four of Cups is, well, I have to really be in my feelings. This is you. I have to really be in my feelings about someone who says that, if you're pointing the finger at someone saying my way or the highway, someone else always wants everything their way, they're egotistic, they're narcissistic, whatever. The confession that you're making is to yourself, saying, okay, what part of me is emotionally the mirror reflection? Am I seeing, am I telling someone else, why are you like this, that, and the other? But it's truly the fact that it's you. Some of that pointing the finger truly is about and representative of the feelings that you need to look at within yourself. Control, like I said, my way or the highway, dealing with someone who's very stubborn and wanting everything to be as they want or you want. See, whenever, we know this, don't we, Scorpios, that when you point the finger at someone, right, and you're feeling like shit and you want, this is how you justify it. You justify by saying, yeah, that person wasn't emotionally available, that person was really judgmental, that person was all prideful, that person was very egoic, that person was this, that, and the other. But then the confession comes out within yourself as to why you're still sad about it and why you're still upset in a way. Maybe not sad, but you're upset. Or you're emotionally not available. Or someone's like, hey, look it. Someone says, hey, come on, I'm happy. Why aren't you? Alcohol is the truth serum. And you don't have to get drunk to have the truth serum show you what you have to confess within yourself. Which is, it's a two-way street, it's not a one-way. My way is the one way, which is the ego. And then you have a two-way street where, all right, if I really am honest with myself, I have to be honest with myself here and say, yeah, now that I look back on it, I am being shown the I, right? The I that sees the truth, the I that sees the truth is, how can I transmute what I see in others as what I see in myself as the same one? Does that make sense? I can sit here until I'm literally exhausted and tell to all my friends and family, right, it was all their fault, only to understand that the actual confession is that you are now transmuting that energy. And instead of it's them, it's them, it's them, now you're saying, oh, wait a second. Like what I've heard this saying before, when you're pointing the finger at someone else, the three other fingers are pointing at you. And that's what this is about. So for you guys, I would have to say that A Christmas Carol is really what you're dealing with. You're needing to look at the past, emotionally, mentally, emotional, mental, that comes in as the trinity of mind, body, soul. So the emotional and the mental have to weigh themselves out to become one with your truth. And how do we do that? We have to look back. We have to look back and take those glasses off and say, I'm no longer going to mask. I'm not going to mask who I really am, because I want to be loved for who I am, not for what other people see me as. And that is also vice versa. I don't want to choose or my past has shown me how much I have been, right, been seen as playing the victim and telling everyone or convincing myself that it's the other person, when indeed, I'm not saying it's not the other person, but, egoically, being selfish and stubborn and arrogant and my way or the highway lends itself to be, it's not just them, it's me too. And that's what God has been trying to show you. How you can transform yourself within the versatility of everybody. Not is to blame, but the things that we point out in others, indiscretions, judgments, etc., are things that we have to deal with in ourselves and in our own lives as history would have it. So, A Christmas Carol for Scorpios. Realizing that now I can alchemize the energy that I once, had spoken of others is within me too. It's not just them, right? It's the mirror. So if anyone said anything about you, that means that they have those feelings also within them. So that's why, like I said, if you're going to point the finger at someone, don't forget the 3 others are pointing back right at you. Okay? So, whatever, you're the giver, the receiver of judgments and egoic criticisms and etc. You can only play the victim card so many times before reality sets in. You know what I mean? All right. And that goes for the other person as well. Okay? All right. Saggies. Strength. Well, Saggies, you could be dealing with a Leo, but I feel, honestly, this is about you and the choices that you have made to make yourself happy. Hello? I love this. You've chosen your strength over your weaknesses in your life. Because the wish, which is the star card, wishing on the star means being honest with how you feel. Oh, adultery came out. Oh, shit. Okay, so we don't want this to be the cause for why we choose to be strong and not be the adulterer or adulteress or whatever. You know what I mean? Or if you have been cheated on, or if you have in the past cheated, you now realize that it's not just cheating sexually, it's cheating yourself out of your own happiness. Oh my God, sorry. Do you know what I mean? So you have graduated and learned that you can utilize you can make different choices. You have made different choices that caused and called you to be really strong in your own resolve of what you will and will not accept anymore in your life. And that your wishes to be happy, and I'm going to say it, for some of you, it's like you've grown up. You're a grown up. You've graduated to I don't want this low vibrational, anyone in my life who's going to cheat me out of my own happiness. For real. It's not just sex, it's everything. It's like if I'm not happy and you're not on we're not vibing on the same vibration because someone's more mature than the other or what have you, someone wants to be sarcastic or being a smartass, the sarcasm, all of those kind of things lends it to be cheated out of what you really truly deserve. So like not settling for less. Hello. You're not settling for less, Saggy. Hallelujah. And no, it hasn't been easy. You've been tested. You're being tested. Some of you still are being tested, but some of you graduated. Some of you are just coming into the new year graduating and saying, wait a second, I don't want to be cheated on. In not just physical. You have to understand that adultery came out as I don't want to be cheated on in life. I don't want to cheat myself out of my own happiness. I have to follow my heart. And if there's anyone in my life that, doesn't adhere to the choices that I make and understand that for now we had to part because of it, friends, family, whatever, lovers, live-ins, whomever does not meet the true wishes of your life and what you see your life as had to go and is going out of your life as we speak. Because, Sadgies, this is beautiful, because you believe in yourself. And it takes a lot of strength, endurance, courage, honesty to admit that to yourself. And to not be tested if you are tested and tried or tempted to do this, you don't. Because you know better. You know that shit comes right back at you. All right? So, for you guys, Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street, it's not seeing is believing. It's believing is seeing. And through the eyes of a child who graduates, who is not tempted by, let's say, the universal ideology of this is how a relationship or relationships work. Meaning, what's the percentage of relationships that stay just for the kids or stay because, oh my God, it's, I'm too afraid, I'm too scared to leave a relationship, so I might as well just stay. Or stay in a relationship that was, tainted by adultery, let's say, and, be sarcastic and let them hang. Hanging, meaning I will make their life like totally, miserable because of what they did to me. Yeah, God said that's an eye for an eye. You haven't, and are not doing that. Whoever I'm dealing with here. So you guys, Saggies, should really feel good about your situation right now in your life because you do believe. And you did it without needing to see. You did it because you felt this was the way for you. And if that calls for the Saggies who are in limbo right now, in between relationships, finding yourself, what makes you tick, Who am I? I need time alone. I need time to do things for myself. I don't know how, what is it, right? I don't know how I like my eggs because I've always been a people pleaser and wanted someone else's happiness to come before mine, which is very similar to Libra. But truly, Saggies do have that, you know, innately within them, so compassionate. But because you're so independent, you're not always independent. Or I'm sorry, because you're an independent sign makes you sometimes dependent. That's what I wanted to say. Codependent. So you're breaking free and finding yourself once again because you believe. You believe in yourself. And that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Because you know why? Because so few do that. It's really true. Okay. That was absolutely a beautiful read for Saggies. I'm so happy for you guys because nothing's ever easy, right? But when you go into the new year, making that decision for yourself to believe in yourself and to take that risk of, hey, I'm doing me for maybe this upcoming year, Saggies, right? 2026 is a #1 year. It's also the year of the horse, which is you are now walking in Saggies, and so are we all are walking into the year of new beginnings, new life, and freedom, and choosing freedom. Now that we've been through partially the worst of it all, but not so much because there's always lessons. Okay, let's go. Capricorn. Oh, Capricorn, I'm going to get one more because Strength came out again. You could be a cusper, but I'm still going to take two. Another one. Reflect. Wow, interesting because it is similar to Sag. So you could be a Sag, Capricorn, cusper. There you are. So we are on point. Spirit's just confirming that that came out because you are a Sag, Cap, cusper, or you are dealing with a Sag, could be. Or you have Sag a lot in your chart, in your natal. Either way you slice it, you are reflecting, which it could be a whole different type of strength in your reflection. We'll see right now what you're dealing with. Love child. So you could be a father figure, which is right here, and what part your father played in your life, as well as you as a father. Very, almost a personal read right here, but it's also about loving, like, your childhood. Did you love your childhood, Capricorn? Are you getting the silent treatment or are you giving it? Wow. Are you having an issue, Capricorns? This is really very much for the masculine. There's a silent treatment going on between maybe a father-son dynamic. Is this, I mean, what are we reflecting? So you could be a parent, right? You could be a parent and you have a son. And you're seeing the remnants of the same fragments of how your father treated you, and you're reflecting upon that as you reflect in silence, or someone's giving you the silent treatment and doesn't want to talk, or you haven't talked to your father in a long time. And maybe this is time that you're reflecting because it is the holiday season and maybe it's time to reach out or not. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but maybe some of you are gaining the strength to either talk to your dad, you haven't talked to them, you've been given the silent treatment, or they have, and trying to reach out again, right? When I look at this strength card, which is probably why it came out in yours, as I look at these cards, I look at as though this is the tree of life. This is the reflection, as above, so below, right? Interesting, as above, so below. So you could be reflecting, if you're not a parent, you're reflecting on your childhood and your connection with your dad, your father, and, or I'm going to say it, the Father, our Father who art in heaven. You could have a father who is in heaven, and maybe you have some regret about not, not connecting before he passed. Or maybe that's the message is, can you find the strength to, I'm hearing, tie up loose ends? Or are you going to stay in silence? And or did it already happen? You know what I mean? Like, it's very elusive here. I'm feeling there's a real elusive kind of connection here between a father and a son. And Spirit saying, not reflecting on this is making you closer to your son. Is saying, Spirit saying, I don't want to do what my dad did or didn't do. I want to learn from that experience and I want to move on. Right? I love, look at all the roses. Roses are huge right here. Are they roses? Hold on. Well, red. It's love. Some of you have a loved child, but maybe you were never married. Some of you could be the loved child of a marriage that, or two people that never got married, but you're a loved child, right? And this, I mean, look at this reflection, right? Can you see the reflection and the fragments of, can you see the reflection of between your father and you in yourself? That's the message. Do you not want to talk about it? Did someone, or is someone trying to reach out, or because this is the holiday season, right? So maybe a father figure wants to reach out and say, hey, you don't, I mean, you do you, right, Capricorn? But this is an issue to reflect and to see and to grow and to have the strength. This could also be, if you don't have a child, you are closing the door on being like immature. For some of you, you're just, you're closing that. It's like that fine line between, the party animal, and then the responsible one. There's something about walking through that transition of, partying it up, having fun, not being responsible to the responsible one, being grounded, being, being very aware of how you handle certain things, how to make money. Maybe there's also a beautiful depiction here of, your father that you loved always was working and never around, and you missed that you missed out maybe a lot of time, significant time with your dad. Maybe your mom and dad are divorced, or you never knew your dad, or you're adopted or fostered, whatever, but you missed out on maybe a connection with your dad. Some of you are emulating your father as the one who knows how to, the honorability, the honor system. I don't know why they're saying honor system. The accolades, maybe your father's a CEO, or you are, and you're maybe some of you are following in dad's footsteps, and others of you say, I don't want to do that. Maybe you're having that silent treatment because your dad's saying, this is how, you do it. And you're like, no, I'm a millennial or a Gen Z or whatever, and I don't want to follow, in baby boomer steps of the old school. Like, I don't want to go get a 9-to-5 job. I don't feel like I need a degree. Maybe I'm just going to be myself and do what I want. And maybe the silent treatment is that your dad doesn't agree with, your choices. So there's a silent treatment going on. So it's gonna be interesting, Cappies. Let me know, because I do feel, Capricorn, that you're definitely dealing. This is a very specific father-son connection, and or reflecting upon your childhood, and or a connection with perhaps a boss or someone maybe that you've always looked up to as like a father figure. Okay? So where does that silent treatment fall into the category of, are we not talking because of it? Did we have a fight because of the choices that I'm making are not the same as my dad's? And the expectations that have been placed upon me? Do I have any remorse or resentment about my dad and choices that he's making right now or not? Do I even really know my dad? There's an issue of the father there. And don't forget, the father connection is very much about our father. Okay? Respect, responsibility, accountability, all of it. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius. What do we have here? Dare to dream. Oh, Aquarius, I love it. Dreams. Dreams could be significant. Crystals. You could have a totem animal as a hawk, an eagle. You could be buying a crystal, or you like to buy crystals, or you deal with crystals, crystal healing. Some of you have just gone through maybe helping someone. Oh my God. Oh my God, Aquarius. Jeez. So an ending, but I feel some of you have lost a loved one, or you're thinking about a loved one right now, who passed already, right? Someone may have passed already or is getting ready to cross over. If they've already crossed over, then you're thinking about them at this time. You're going to maybe you're going to the grave. Maybe it's the time where they crossed over, was around Christmas, that was significant, or it's their birthday or something like that. You're dreaming. They came into your dreams. Yes. They came into your dreams. A crossed over loved one has visited you. And you feel I am going to say there's something that about, how do you feel about them now that they're gone? Friends with benefits and or discerning. So I do feel, I'm going to say it, Aquarius, I feel that someone who has crossed over, a loved one, a husband, a father, a mother, grandparents, I feel that there were issues of they were or you are dealing with, you know, you find friends. Okay, I'm hearing some of you Aquarians like friends in high places. And that's because you were taught to dream big, meaning you don't ever, Aquarius, some of you were raised to not with a silver spoon, right? Some of you were raised to work really hard for your money and work hard. And this loved one who crossed over always felt that way also. It was really hard to earn money or to believe in themselves to the point where they could dream big. So some of you were taught to attach yourselves, maybe codependently for some of you, to relationships or vice versa. Others have attached themselves to you because you're the hardworking Aquarius and you make all the money, and you find yourselves, some of you find yourselves attracted to, Alexa, turn off. Some of you find yourselves really reminiscent of how your parents or grandparents raised you to never feel like you're not enough, and to make yourselves feel, to not feel that that you're holding a grudge or someone's, you know, hanging on your coattails. You always, not always, but some of you definitely have gone out with people who have benefits. Like, okay, so, you know, we always go out with the gang, but the gang has to include so-and-so who always pays. They fit the bill. So I feel like you're discerning, truly needing to discern, if you haven't already, like the people and places in your life that have emulated a time of maybe even just endings in relationships, where you have been with people who have made you feel less than or hung on to your coattails to make themselves feel better. I'm not saying, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, Aquarians are hard workers for sure, but you probably were not raised with a silver spoon because of it. So you work your butt off. And you do have people, like you do have friends or besties that have money. Let's just say it's money. And you attract that because you never want to feel like you felt before. So what could be very much ending is the way that you value yourself, so that that emulates and is seen as how you choose the people in your circle. Does that make sense? So part of this is your healing, is the growth in this healing, is dreaming of passed on loved ones that taught you that lesson, or you're learning it now. Got it? You may be learning it now, that you don't want to, you know, you are assertive, and you are, you know, how you choose your friends, and, you know, you can't necessarily maybe choose your family, but you can choose your friends. And you're discerning. The discernment is in exactly what this is meant for you to hear. How have you realized, and do you now realize, how you're healing from choices that you've made, some choice family members that you couldn't, maybe someone who crossed over showed you this, you know, this lesson that, you know, it's not always about, the value doesn't necessarily has to come from someone who has a shitload of money. Most people who have a shitload of money, as you can see in the public sector, Aquarius, in the sector of our society, most people with money aren't happy. So I feel like you're now discerning truly who you hang with, who you want to be friends with. And if you have been with friends with benefits, you're either you're the friend with the benefit or you're choosing friends with benefits, is because you need to discern how you place the value on yourself and how you've been raised and who you have let go because they're not vibrationally on the same page as you. They're a 5 and you're a 10, or vice versa. So now it's time to discern why you choose the people that you want in your life and the people that have left your life and why you chose them. It's a huge lesson. That's why these two came out together. It's a huge lesson for all of us to really come to terms with the truth of why we choose the people that we choose to be in our circle. And if you knowingly or unknowingly choose people, you know, for reasons of how you grew up, right? Some of you grew up being told you have to work your ass off because money wasn't always around. It wasn't easily accessible. Like I said, you weren't raised with a silver spoon. And for those who were raised with the silver spoon, you're learning now, or you're seeing it. That doesn't make you happy. I'm telling you that you're now discerning why you choose what you choose, why you choose whom to be with, you know. And that, not just money, that goes, Aquarius, for like chemistry and looks. We choose people that the chemistry is off the chain, but then after that, what do you have? Okay, Pisces. Oh, I digress. Aquarius, I'm going to say it. I am. Christmas vacation. Aquarius. Did I do it for... If I did not do it for Capricorn, shit. I'm going to have to go back to... Or let me just say, heads up, Capricorn. Capricorn, I don't think I did. No, Capricorn, your holiday movie that I saw in your read... I'm going to say, because I don't want to, I'm going back to Capricorn's read. I'm going to say for Capricorn, I'm going to say Deck the Halls. Aquarius, yours is Christmas Vacation. Capricorn, yours is Deck the Halls. Okay, Pisces. I think I messed up on that. Capricorn's always like, shout out, Cappies. Let me know. Seriously. Listen, one time I forgot Capricorns, and it happens, you know, all of us readers, right? And I did a private reading for them. Okay, love. Ooh, I love this. Yay. The giving and receiving of love, finding love, giving love, believing in love again. What does that encompass? Which it does encompass different things for it's different things for different people. What is it? Different strokes for different folks. I feel that love has Also, the love that we give to others and the love we see in others, from others, and to others is different for all of us. However, the common denominator is love. Yeah? And I do feel that Pisces, you've been having a sense of how much of not only your time, but your money and your efforts do you give to love, right? And how much of it is you controlling the terrain egoically in love instead of letting love lead you. Does that make sense? It's almost as if I feel, look at bro, what the fuck, and Tinder teased. Yeah, I do feel that way. I feel like it is an issue of what's the call of love within your life, in your life. Now, it's going to be different for all Pisceans, right? But you've been through some major karmic lessons here, and karma is your thing. You're the 12th sign. You've been through all the signs prior. So karmically, you may be in a situation where you're, hey, am I single and I'm being like, bro, did you just ghost me? Or am I like, have I lost myself in this love or in a love, or have I in the past lost myself? And am I being, am I being ghosted? Like you're like, hey, what the F just happened? Or did you ghost someone? Or did you tease someone but didn't go through with it? Because it was just to fulfill, your ego. Do you look, or it was drama, right? All drama, whatever. I feel that you may be trying to figure out where the line of what kind of love it is that you want. What kind of love is it that you have always given and received? And the opportunities of love that have taken you here and or there, people, places, and things give you a feeling. Do you have the feeling of it's a wonderful life? I feel you're realizing it now, Pisces. That's the movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Because you're realizing the giving and receiving of love on so many new levels, or you have this year, or in this upcoming new beginning of 2026, which is a 1 year, you're realizing the freedom that love has given you. And you've been thinking about and reminiscing of all of the loves that you've had, much like a Christmas Carol, right? However, the Christmas Carol gave the reflection of those that have passed and how we feel about them. I'm going to give you 2 Christmas movies. I do feel some of you who have loved and lost are dreaming of new love in such new ways and raising your vibration after a lot of pain and turmoil. So I'm going to say you went from, no one got 2, by the way. So you went from A Christmas Carol to It's a Wonderful Life because you've learned through your experiences in love and loss. You've learned more about the giving and receiving in love and loss. And now you've elevated that feeling. Your feelings have elevated to a place where you're not really sour You're sweet. Does that make sense? Now you're like, oh my God, I know I've loved and I've lost, and it was really a sour, bittersweet pill to swallow. But after the year is closing out, I now see the freedom that I have and the freedom that I choose, the ability to have this free will to choose love in whatever capacity and vibrational frequency that I can make it to It's a Wonderful Life. So I am grateful. Huge. I am grateful for this life and for the loves that I have lost and the love that I take with me. That's beautiful. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't screw up Capricorn. Anyway, I have to turn on a light. However, I want to, again, just thank you all for being such supporters of my channel. Next year will be a new year for this channel, as I will be going live more often. And I know I promised it before, so you don't need to comment about that. But I have had a really rough time transitioning from one coast to another. I have had to transition on so many levels, and a lot of stuff has happened that we're not going to go into that, but the channel will be changing in a good way, where I will go live more often. I do feel like a membership is in order, especially for you guys who are my ride and die subscribers. We're going to have massive fun and discussions on our soul journey. Okay? So I will see you again. Have a fabulous holiday season. I wish you so much love and light. I send you many blessings of health, good health, prosperity, great love, true love for yourself and others, and to all those who have crossed over and we have lost. Okay, take care. I'm here for you if you need me. Okay, take care. See you next year.